Hello and welcome to the Royal Ravens Rundown. I'm your host, Vikkstar. This show is going to be a good one. We are going to be diving into everything CDL, Call of Duty, and gaming related. We have some exciting guests coming up. And with that said, make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you don't miss out on any episodes of this series. In our first segment, we are going to be joined by Shane, who's the assistant coach of the Royal Ravens. We're going to be talking the roster, the CDL groups, and everything coming up in this next season. Hello, Shane. Let's get
How you doing, mate?
into it. You are the expert. I'm doing good. How about yourself?
You dropped me in on the expert line straight away. You put the pressure on, mate. But yeah, I'm excited to get this going.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of new fans who are tuning in who are now interested in seeing where this season goes. It's the perfect time to get involved, to follow the Ravens. Last season was huge and I think potentially unexpected in terms of placement. What would you say to that?
Oh, well, as much as we're happy with finishing off fourth place, all of our fans, all of the players, all the coaching staff, the ownership, it was definitely unexpected, But I have to give credit to all the players. It was a tough season with everything going on in the world.
Let's talk about the roster we've got this year. How's it been working with them so far?
The roster's been awesome so far, Going into a 4v4 format from 5v5 is a drastic difference, And especially with the guys being so young, most of them, a lot of them haven't really played like a proper 4v4 before.
Yeah.
So, they're editing so like talent, as long as you're as talented as you are and you have the willingness to learn, you will adapt very quickly. So it's a pleasure to see from the guys.
Yeah, I think definitely in 4v4 it's more pressure, but also if you can get your communication right, you can actually achieve more. Now let's talk about the groups and how they were picked this year. So teams picked which teams they didn't want to be in a group with. So how did you enjoy that and watching them do the group selection?
It was it's a crazy way to start the format, but I also quite enjoy it because even though the groups are pretty much as balanced as they possibly be, it also made like a cool little storyline to start the show. Like maybe some teams wanted to avoid maybe the team they felt uncomfortable playing against, or maybe they wanted to screw over one of their friends' teams, to give them a harder group. So it creates all these good storylines, And I do prefer the format this year to last. I like the whole two group situation, and it's going to give you when the major events come around, it's going to give you all these extra new storylines where you can play a team from the other group that you've been dying to play against, and see who's got the better fans, the better franchise, and I don't know, it's going to be a really good year, that's for sure.
One of the biggest things about COD is those rivalries, when they're standing up shouting, everyone loves that. And yeah, when you've chosen a team to be not in your group and then eventually they will play you, some of those rivalries are going to be great. I mean, let's talk about the group we're in, Group A, Dallas Empire. How afraid are we? Let's be honest. Champions coming into it.
There's two different mentalities in gaming, right, and esports in general, where you need to have an opinion where you need to not respect your opponent, think you're the best player in the game, and go into it that way. Because a lot of people, I disagree with that opinion. I think you have to respect your opponent. You can't go into a game versus Dallas, for example, and just think you're better than them. They're also going to be doing the exact same thing, and with a roster of that caliber, you don't want to be meeting them on their best day. So you have to respect your opponent, know what you can and can't do, and like I said, if you want to go into it thinking you're the big dog of the scene, they're gonna put you down,
So obviously we've got Dallas Empire to look out for, but who else in our group is going to be strong this season in 4v4? Who do you think?
Honestly, with Group A, we've got an extremely stacked group. We fancy our chances, but I think a good thing we have on our side is we've got a few storyline games in our group. Obviously like the LA Thieves, them formerly being Optic, Nadeshot stepping back into the scene. They are gonna want to do their utmost, to put on a good show for everyone, be the dominant team in the group. Obviously the roster beforehand was also in 100T before the CDL started, so that team's gonna have a lot to play for. We have Minnesota in our group. They've got an extremely stacked roster this year. Alex, previously from Minnesota, obviously he was released by them at the end of the year, so he's going to have he's got a bone to pick. Oh yeah, you never want to play someone in COD with an extra reason to beat you other than just winning. That a lot of the time that makes him play a lot better. And then we have New York, Zero, who at the moment is struggling to get out here with visa issues. He was also released from New York. When we played them last year, he was a scary player to play against for New York. We ended up knocking them out of the World Championships, which I'm sure they wouldn't have liked. And then Seattle, they had an extremely rough year last year. But they've definitely brought in some like big dogs, some like extreme veterans of the scene to help give Seattle like the boost they need.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I definitely think Minnesota and Dallas are two teams to look out for on our side of the group. And now there's the other side of the group. So we've got another 6 teams there. Early bets. Do we think FaZe are going to be the dominant group again? They got to choose exactly who they wanted on the other side. What do you think? Or do you think they're going to get challenged? Who might challenge them this year?
See, that's an extremely stacked group, like across the board. Obviously ours having the World Championships makes it incredibly hard, but like having FaZe, Chicago in the same group, that's going to go like that's going to be an extremely good battle to watch. FaZe are like, albeit they are pretty disciplined, where they have all the raw talent in the world, they can get away with like, say your stereotypical disciplined Call of Duty, whereas Optic play like an extremely disciplined, like extremely like methodical way, also having an extreme amount of raw talent. But that's going to be one of those games. I think if they played each other like 3-4 times in a season, I'd say like Atlanta FaZe could take it 3-1. It could be a 2-2. You
look at anywhere in these group stages and it is really competitive. You've got smaller teams with the best players in the world. So in terms of how well either of us can predict anything is going to be difficult. Obviously, Shane, you're in a better position for that, and hopefully it all turns out in the favor of the Royal Ravens here, celebrating their 1 year anniversary. So again, new to this scene. The CDL is a new concept, and I think again with a different format this year and rivalries that have been going on for 10 years. These aren't new. It's not like the CDL appeared and these players suddenly had rivalries. This goes so far back to before when the inception of the competitive scene. So whichever way it goes is going to be very exciting. Thank you for joining me, Shane. I will see you again later in the show, and we're going to bring on our next guest now. It is Ali a world-renowned gamer, YouTuber, former Call of Duty YouTuber, and maybe now Call of Duty YouTuber again. Let's get straight into this. How you doing, first of all?
Very good, thank you. Keeping myself extremely busy. And one of those things I keep myself busy with is, now posting COD videos again, which is good fun.
Yeah, so let's talk about this. Once upon a time, you were undisputedly the biggest Call of Duty YouTuber in the world. You were covering a lot of Call of Duty news. This is in the earlier Modern Warfares and Black Ops games. And you took a path away towards Fortnite, and now you've made a new Ali Plays channel where you're posting COD again. So talk us through that.
Yeah, there was definitely some backlash from the Call of Duty community when I decided to depart ways and go towards Fortnite. Sort of game opinions aside for a second, I'd done COD videos even back then for like 5-6 years, however long it was, and it was just getting repetitive. I wasn't enjoying it. I think the CODs at the time weren't in a great place. So for content reasons, Fortnite was this new up-and-coming, super exciting thing, and still extremely glad that I made that jump at that time. And still to this day, people tweet me being like, "You left COD. How could you do this to us?" But yeah, I'm actually playing a lot of Warzone, and the integration of Battle Royale and the COD formula has worked so well. And I was playing so much during lockdown last year and still play so much. I was like, you know what? Let's bring back a COD channel, and it's a good excuse to jump on and play some of the classic Call of Duties and return to COD again. I'm really liking it.
Yeah, that makes total sense. I can resonate with that again, because as a lot of the original Call of Duty creators, we've all taken that kind of art where a lot of us kind of moved on from the game. I feel like as a content creator, it's very hard to remain innovative and creative with what you're doing. And if you remain on the same platform for long enough and there's not enough innovation to it, you end up at a point where you're like, well, where do I go next? How do I push this further? And other games create that opportunity. Now, if we go back to Call of Duty, so you've been playing Warzone, and this has been, I don't know if you've seen it in the in the world, but this has become big news. Let's talk about hackers in Call of Duty Warzone.
Yes,
what's your experience?
Vic, the leader, our god of anti-hacks, please. Everyone listen to Vic. I've been quite fortunate. I mean, I play with a controller on PC, so I think that helps the lobbies that I end up in not be as predominantly keyboard and mouse based. Not sure that makes much of a difference, but it seems to have helped. And also my stats aren't so astronomically high that I end up in these god lobbies. Like I'm sitting at like a 2.3 KD. Like it really ain't that crazy. And I think yourself and a lot of the other big streamers are sitting like 4s, 5s. It's just crazy how good you are at the game. I've definitely run into them. My bigger issue is like the stim glitches and stuff that end up getting back in the game. These things, again, without, comparing too much, if something like that was found in Fortnite, it would probably be disabled before you even knew it was a thing. Whereas
they
with
would
COD,
vault everything, right? Yeah, everything.
Exactly.
The second there's an issue with something, it's vaulted, it's put away.
Yeah, and it's just, it's gone for a day, you may not even realize, back the next day, issue's gone. Whereas with COD, it's like, oh, well, they'll acknowledge it in maybe a tweet like a week later, and then maybe take another week to patch. And maybe that's the setup with how the game's developed and how easily they can manipulate things in the game. But I still think there could be improvements there. And I think you're right. Like, this is a game we've been playing now, Warzone, for almost a year, which is quite a long time. And I'm sure there's going to be bigger things to come, maybe even a new map. Goodness knows what else is going to come. And to keep those players on board, they definitely need to address these issues of hacking, cheating, because without actually knowing, I'd say a lot of their fan base are people that have been playing for a long, long time, and to annoy them and to make them stop wanting to play, you're ruining a lot of that audience and people that love their game, unfortunately.
It's got to a point now where people can go on any live streaming platform and watch people actively using these cheats in game. You can see how many thousands of people have signed up to them online.
Really?
And whether it's a case of, completely fixing that, obviously that's unrealistic, but I definitely think communication is needed. They need to talk about what they're doing. And I definitely think a lot of other games have great community and human inbuilt systems to determine these hackers. I tweeted out recently the Overwatch system that Valve has developed for Dota and CSGO, which is where players with a lot of hours who are seen as reputable members of the community, they get to review footage and decide whether they think it's legitimate or not. And then if a huge overwhelming number of these reports decide the activity is suspicious, then someone official comes in, reviews it for themselves, and they kind of have a really good idea of whether it's okay or not. So you can leverage the community that wants to make the game a better place for themselves. I agree that the Call of Duty community isn't seen in the same way as these kind of competitive CSGO and Dota communities, but I pull up the stats of these hackers sometimes and I'll look, and they've played their last 50 games. Every single kill they have is a headshot, and it, to me, obviously, I'm in a biased position. But to me, I sit and look at that, and I think, how can this data exist and this account not at least have been looked at by a real person and banned? And of course, it's a free-to-play game. People are always going to make new accounts, and that's obviously a huge part of the issue. Whether IP bans can get around that. So while we're on the topic of Activision's communication with us, they have also banned 60,000 players. Do we think that's enough? What do you think?
Ooh, yeah, I saw that number be put out, which is, that is a lot of people. I think probably a lot of people will agree that it's not enough if we're still seeing hackers in game. I think that's the best way to probably summarize that. I think my personal take would be put in super harsh regulations if you get caught. Like PC ban them, IP ban them, do something where it's like you're sending a message to these people, do not do this. Because at the moment, I don't even know what they do. Like, ban that account, make a new one, sign up with another mobile number. Like, as you said, I think that's just make it harsh and make it so that they do not want to do it. I think that's the way forwards.
This is going to blow your mind, but a video was on Reddit and Twitter recently where someone's interviewing one of these players who's using cheats in game, and they were sat talking about how they have 30 different Activision accounts. Because it's a free-to-play game, you can make as many as you want. And when one of those accounts gets banned, they move to another account. When that account gets banned, they move to another account. And for some reason, with the weekly updates of the game, some of these accounts seem to become unbanned. So that so then they go back to their original accounts or just make new accounts. And I think, it's just, there needs to be, and I feel like if there was a quicker response to these issues. If these players that were cheating, if they couldn't get their weapon camos unlocked, if they couldn't prestige, I think because they were banned so quickly, that would genuinely put them off hacking. So I think I'm spending more time making accounts than I am playing the game with my friends and leveling up. It blows my mind when I see them running around their second prestige. They've got Damascus camos on all their weapons, which I know is 200-300 hours of playing. And I sit there and I think you do not deserve to be able to play against us in this lobby with those unlocks. You should be, if you can't be stopped from cheating, you should be cheating on a level 3 account with no unlocks, and within an hour of doing that, the data should show that you're doing that, and you should be out of the game. Again, I accept that I'm very naive on this issue. I'm on my side of the fence, but again, I just don't see how, with the data and what I'm seeing these players do, I don't see how it, and the reports going in as well. The player that I found in my video that was cheating, me and my entire squad reported them, and I posted the video and I saw maybe 100 other players, 5 or 6 different creators say, oh yeah, we ran into that same guy, we reported him too. So the fact that I know that hundreds of reports have gone in against this player, and 3 days later he's still live streaming himself cheating, that really just says that it's not enough now. And there needs to be a faster response to these people. And it's great to ban 60,000 of them, but if these 60,000 make a new account, how are we going to address that? And in a way, I almost feel at this point, it needs human intervention. You need either community reviewing this footage, or you need more people in place, sat, going through suspicious data, finding accounts that are getting headshots 90% of their kills.
I dabbled with a bit of, because Call of Duty on PC has been kind of niche really until I'd say Warzone. It's been a predominantly console-based game. And I used to play like COD 4 on PC, like on my laptop, like 10 years ago, and you would boot up like a BattlEye or some sort of like anti-cheat software you'd have to install before they'd allow you on the servers. So is that not a system they can re-implement? Like, I feel like, obviously you mentioned like if you're getting a lot of headshots, blah, 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 like that's something a human can detect, but surely there's something that is more granular and detailed that can pick up these hacking devices, or are they so efficient they just can't be found? It just doesn't really make sense in my opinion.
No, so that's a privacy concern, whereby a lot of people are against services such as BattlEye that can examine the files on their computer. And I think the way of looking at that is, if you have this on a free-to-play game, that is going to alienate a player base. But actually, by not having it at this point, I'd say a larger player base is being alienated, which is the entirety of the player base, when there are such a huge number of hackers. And I think, again, with in a big company, it's going to take a lot to kind of change the way that is addressed and approached. And it's not as simple as, let's add in some anti-cheat software for users to install on their computers. It's going to have to go through a lot of approvals and discussions. But so long as it's being talked about, that's the important part at this stage, I would say.
I agree. As long as there's progress, as long as things get better, like, hey, we're still playing the game after a year. There's hopefully a lot bigger things to come for Warzone. And as long as it improves, then that's good news, really, isn't it?
We're going to move on to talking about YouTube and what you can do outside of YouTube. You are one of the few YouTubers who's gone off the platform to work on other projects. You had your Allier Superchargers TV show, and that was obviously very different to the content you usually make. What motivated you to go and do that, and how was it?
God, sometimes I need to like remember the stuff I've done, because I try and keep as busy as possible. And I've done a few bits in TV, which was really fun. Allier Superchargers being one of them. And it's very interesting to work in a similar space, i.e. you're making video content, but in a completely different format. For YouTube, you're sat in your own office, probably by yourself, you're doing a lot of the work, and you flip on your camera, hit record, and send it off to an editor, and it's quite an easy, straightforward, repeatable process. Whereas when you're doing something for TV, there is loads of people, multiple cameramen, audio people, directors, staff, extra people on camera with you. And the thing I really enjoy about that is the human interaction, having people around you all the time, because YouTube is a very lonely thing to do. And if you're not okay with being by yourself a lot of the time, it's probably not the best thing in the world. And it's great to have something a little bit different within the TV space where, you know, you're around people. And yeah, I think it's also just quite nice break to be away from your screen, even if it's just for one day a week or something during that filming process. And yeah. I've got a few other big projects I'm working on behind the scenes that I can't talk about. And I think it's always cool to have extra things going on. And I'm a great believer in giving yourself headspace to think about things from a different angle or think about different projects. And if you get so trapped into just thinking about what video you're making that day or what the thumbnail is going to be, you're crippling your creativity and you're crippling what you can be making, in my opinion.
I always say it's one of the kind of the best and worst parts about YouTube is you can take a YouTube and a social media audience and go and do anything with it. And sometimes that is daunting because there are so many different avenues you can go down. But I think it is really important as a creator to kind of diversify the platforms that you're on, the ways you're making content, who you're making content with, because you never know what's going to spark that next idea or give you the kind of ability to level up what you're doing to another point. And we're moving into our final segment for this little interview, and this is going to be, you said you forget things that you've done sometimes.
Oh, 100%, dude. I've got a document, right? I've written it out where I'm going to try and go back from the beginning of when I started YouTube and just fill in things I've done, because there's been so much. It's crazy.
But yes, we are taking you back. This is going to be your royal moment, Ali. So we have gone and picked out a key moment for you, and we're going to roll it in just a second here. We're then going to talk about it.
Okay, hit me with it. What I'm talking about. It's cool as bad for Yes! Oh my god. This was like 2v2, wasn't it? I swear that was 2v2.
That was the Modern Warfare 3 2v2 face-off mode. Where I don't think we'd made videos together in a while. And we were just like, let's hop onto this new mode, us two. And then I think I got a Moab in one game, and I think maybe like 1 or 2 games later, you got yours. Yeah. And that's a what was it? It was a 25 kill streak on our 2v2 game mode. So you have to kill the other players like 12 times each without dying.
That is the, you know what, that is the beauty of the OG CODs. They were the bad players were persistent, and you could not make them quit. They would stick around. 13 deaths to their name, 0 kills. They would not care. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. That was crazy. That was so sick. Had some bangers back in the day on COD. That's awesome. Love that.
So there's a little nostalgia for anyone that may have been watching both of our videos back in 2012. So we're talking almost 10 years ago. Me and Ali are running around on Modern Warfare, getting them top kill streaks. So simpler times, definitely, and all the content's still there if you'd like to go and consume it. Thank you for joining me, Ali. It has been a great time, and
no problem.
All the best on Warzone, and we'll have to squad up some games soon.
Definitely. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And now it is time for your best plays. We put out a tweet on the London Royal Ravens Twitter, which you guys should be following, asking for your best Call of Duty clips. A lot of you submitted them, and whoever submitted the best clip, as decided by me and Shane in a moment, will be winning a load of awesome London Royal Ravens merch. The new drop is absolutely fire. So we're going to be rating 3 clips out of 10. Whichever scores the highest rating will be the winner. It's time to see our first clip. Alright, we have our first clip here. It's Exact on Search and Destroy. Let's see what he's got.
Need to go piano.
Alright.
Bomb planted. Hold your position.
Climbing B. Miami, tough site to hold. 1v5, no.
Last active.
Don't tell me he's going to do it.
There's no way.
Clean shot. He knows someone's on site. Okay. Ooh.
Oh my lord.
You can tell the pressure of the situation got to him by the last one, but he got it done.
that's one of those ones where, you know, at the end of it, you're shaking with all the adrenaline after. One thing that I noticed at the start, I have to give him a bonus point for. This is an absolute classic tactic where he dropped the trophy system on the bomb just in case, you know, he could hear the guy pop the trophy when he goes to defuse it. I mean, you can tell this guy's not new to the game, but like, regardless, the 1v5, you know, I just knew after that, you know, there's fist bumps all over his bedroom. Do you know what I mean?
But yeah, I didn't even pick up the trophy system play there. That was very clean. Slightly missed shots at the end, but it didn't matter. He got the job done. His whole team are watching as well. Search and destroy is a different amount of pressure because you have five of your teammates watching you and they're relying on you. So, yeah, 100%. I think that's slight shaky aim is very forgivable. But let's move on to 100%. Our next clip. This is Luke Sky 97Y. He's going to defend the hill. We got the 74U again. Time to kill is just rapid. Took a bit of time there. Took a bit of time. Oh my. This hill belongs to him. The hill belongs to him. The movement's good.
Oh lord.
He knew where to look. He knew where they were going to spawn. So that shows he's got a little something. The rest of his team are just like, yeah, we'll leave this hard point with you. And he's not done?
He's putting his team on the back.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Pulls up the scoreboard as well, just to, you know, show like, this is what I got. You know what? That was a lot of kills, but this is a respawn mode, so we can't just decide based on how many kills there were. The movement was good, the awareness was good, and in terms of that hard point, yeah, he's doing his job. He's doing his job.
I mean, he's done like you said, he's done a real good job there. That's the third hill on checkmate, you know, and that hill, as you can see from his clip, is chaos at all times. Like you said, his movement was awesome. His awareness was also good as well. Like, it's pretty hard to get the spawns like down to a T on that one. But if you look at the scoreline, you know, the other team's 5 points away from winning. You can tell this guy did not want to go down without a fight. Hopefully his team returned the favor, you know, on the next hill, you know, because he's literally just put his team on the back there.
Massively. So we're moving on to our third clip here in just a moment. It's from Hydra Cam, and this is going to be a Tomahawk clip, which for me, you know what, I'm going to try not to be biased, but I got a whole lot of history with Tomahawks in Call of Duty. So let's see what we've got here.
Last game I was behind the rotation.
Okay. Oh, it's going to be a kill streak, and I'm so excited. There's two. I'm 3.
On to a winner.
4.
So I did
oh my. How? No. Wait. Oh, if you got one through there. Okay.
Lord, no way.
Oh my. The clip is still going.
I got a coffee with the Tom.
Do you know what's my favorite thing is that he's in disbelief himself, and he has the sniper out. He has the sniper out. He's not even doing this seriously. With something that helps him throw these.
Oh my lord,
my
that was insane.
Goodness. Okay. I mean, Tomahawks, something like that has a special place in my heart.
I mean, like you said, you were a Tomahawk guy, but that must take the cake, right? That was absolutely insane.
So I can't give anything. I can't ever give anything a 10 out of 10, even no matter how good it is. But for me, this clip right here from Hydrocam, that's going to be a 9. I'm going to go with S&D from Exec and Defend the Hill. I'm going to give both of those an 8 out of 10. They were very strong clips, but this, you know, he knew what he was doing when he submitted a Tomahawk clip. So those are my scorings. What have you got them down as?
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. I'd give the S&D clip an 8 for sure. The hardpoint clip, as cool as it wasn't as clutch as, you know, the S&D clip. Like, so I'll give that a 7. But this, I 100% agree. Nothing to 10 out of 10. But that was honestly,
it's pure showmanship.
I have never seen anything like that.
This man had no business killing all these guys like that. He's got a Pellington in his hands, and he says, "No, I'm gonna just throw some axes," and he showed the right people. So there we go. That is gonna be.
That was crazy. Sorry, that just blew my mind. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get over the clip.
So that is going to be Hydrocam as our winner of best play on this Royal Ravens rundown. Thank you once again, Shane, for joining me. So thank you for watching the first episode of the Royal Ravens rundown. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you are subscribed to the channel to stay up to date with this series. We're going to be bringing you all the news. Let us know on social media what and who you would like to see on future episodes. Also, keep an eye out for clip submissions. You can win yourself some great stuff. Thanks again, and take care.